Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Amicable Divorce Network podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Ann Moore-Grant. I'm the founder of the Amicable Divorce Network, and this podcast is dedicated to helping you through divorce, before, during, and after, tips on how to divorce well, be child-focused, and save money, time, and energy through the divorce process. Today, I am joined by one of our Amicable Divorce Network board members, Cassi Brown. She helps us with our programming, and she also serves as an Amicable ambassador. Cassi also has the Certified Amicable Divorce Professional designation, the Gray Divorce Special designation, the Narcissist Expert Special designation. But what's really amazing about Cassi is that she's a paralegal, and she is one of the few that we have in the network, although I think this is a great opportunity for family law paralegals to really enhance their skills and get a deeper knowledge of family law. But Cassi really hits it out of the park as a paralegal, and so we're so happy to have her and her perspective. And today she's going to be giving her top tips from a paralegal perspective on how to save your time, money, and sanity through divorce. Cassi, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. I'm thrilled to be here and so glad that you have me. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself again. My name is Cassi Brown. I've been a paralegal for about 7.5 years now, and I do strictly family law. I know family law, some people are like, why in the world did you choose family law?
Yeah, all your choices.
Right. It's near and dear to my heart, though. So I've personally gone through a divorce, and I know the struggle and all the feelings behind it, the scariness that can go with it. And so when I got into law, which was crazy how that happened, I was not looking to do law of any sort. It was kind of like a hangout until I could get something different. And then I fell in love with it. I love the people. Just being able to help people is really near and dear to my heart, and something that I feel like that I'm good at, kind of part of my personality.
Yeah, well, you are. We see lots of positive reviews about people working with Cassi and the personal touch that you provide. And I think what you're touching on and being able to actually engage with clients, family law is very unique in that regard. It isn't a contract or real estate. You actually are meeting with and talking with the clients and helping them through some difficult times. So first and foremost, let's start off by explaining to everybody out there exactly what a paralegal does and how you fit into the family law team. So if somebody comes to your law firm, they have a family law matter, how are you involved in that case?
So I'm actually your first point of contact. You're going to call our office and you're going to say, hey, I'm going through this situation in family law. What do I need to do? So I'm going to speak with you, and I'm going to tell you all the things that we're needing from you just to get you in for either a call or a consultation. And then from there, I'm basically your guide through the entire process from A to Z. So I'm going to, again, speak with you pretty much every time that you call. Emails, you're going to email me and I'm going to respond. You're obviously going to have access to the attorney. But again, you're going to almost go through me first before we get to the attorney. Saves time and money with that.
Yeah. Definitely. And so I think sometimes, especially when people have very complex cases, a lot of times they spend more time with the paralegal getting their case organized, conveying information, and preparing than they might with their actual attorney sometimes.
Absolutely. I feel like for the most part, my attorney will ask me about a case and I can tell you every detail, right? Because I've been through the conversations, the emails, the writings, anything. I know front and back. And that's what makes a strong team, because I can talk of everything that the client's needing to know or the information they've given to me, and I can relay that to the attorney. But yes, I definitely know the case from forward and back.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's important to point out is a paralegal can't give legal advice. That does have to go through the attorney. But I would say, like you touched on, the paralegal is your guide and sort of your case manager and organizer as well.
Absolutely. There's nothing that happens that I don't know about, right?
Exactly. And so definitely, I think when you start a family law case, you can immediately assume that your team is going to comprise of an attorney and a paralegal at an absolute minimum. And so that is something to be aware of. So you and I have talked many times about, how to organize cases and how to help clients. And you came up from a paralegal perspective with some of your top tips for how people can both be successful in their case, but also use the best use of their time and money with their legal team. And so the one thing you and I are both passionate about is your top tip, your number one tip, which is to be organized. Explain what that means to people listening.
Absolutely. So organization is going to help all of us. It's going to help me. It's going to help the client. It's going to help everyone involved. So when you first meet with me or call or whatever is going on, I'm going to give you a list of everything that I need to get your case started. And that may carry us through the end, or that may just be, a little section of what I need. So when I need those things, I need them, right? I need them now and not later. So the more organized you are and the more that you can give me, I'm going to be able to understand your case more, see exactly where we need to go, what we may be missing, what we need from opposing counsel or an opposing party. So as long as you get me those things, we're going to be able to move smoothly through your case, and time saving and money saving as well. Because if I'm having to constantly reach out and say, hey, I need this, I need that, it's just going to make it more difficult to get your case to move forward. And it's going to be more expensive because every time I have to ask that, I have to charge you for it.
And so when people are hearing like be organized, let's be really clear about what we mean. So for example, I have had clients come to my office. I know you've had this as well. And they bring a box full of all kinds of documents, and they essentially hand it over to us to sort out for ourselves and go through a little, puzzle to put things together. So I would say that is probably the worst way to present information. And so that takes a lot of time and money for somebody to go through that box, to see what's in there, to organize it. Does it match up with what we've requested? So what is your dream way? You have this dream client and they actually provide things in an organized manner. What does that look like?
Absolutely. So we always have the nightmare of the banker's box, as you were saying, where people show up, you're just like, oh no. So for me, most of the time I use a portal that people can upload their documents or anything that they need. I love a digital file. I'm not a huge paper person. I still use it, obviously, but I would love for someone just to say, hey, Cass, here's all this stuff, and I've uploaded it nicely. Now I can still go through it and organize it and separate it how I need it to work for me, but digital is the way to go to make my heart happy.
Yeah, and to even organize into folders, like here's my pay stubs, here's my tax records, put Absolutely. It into categories. As much as you can do means that you are not paying a paralegal or somebody else to do for you. So I would say that is the easiest way for people to save money in their divorce, is to simply be organized with their information, and also be on time. Because as many times, as Cassie has pointed out, that we have to email you and say, we don't have your current paycheck stub, we don't have this, we don't have that, that costs you additional money for us to hunt that down. The second tip that you came up with was to not use your legal team essentially as a therapist. Do you want to unpack that one a little bit?
Absolutely. So I think one of the most things I hear most of the time is people say, why is my bill so high? Or why did my invoice go up? And I'm like, well, you've called me 20 times this week, and we're not even talking about legal stuff. I understand you have so much going on. You're trying to unpack all that and just understand what's going on with your divorce or family law matter, period. And I am your sounding board most of the time, as well as your attorney. But I'm not a therapist. As much as I love to hear from you, and I want to help you through the horrible, difficult season that you may be going through. It's just going to be more cost efficient for you to, number one, maybe hire a therapist because they're way more certified than I am. And that will lower your cost with our bill as well.
Yeah. So for example, how much are you billed out per hour when a client gets a bill and they see Cassie's time? What's your hourly rate?
So my hourly rate is $175 an hour.
Yeah, so I think that's just something for people to put in perspective, because if you have health insurance and you have a copay, it is probably most likely less than $175, and you can get targeted mental health treatment. But we see this all the time. People, obviously identify and like their legal team, but it is usually the most expensive way to get sort of that mental health support. So always use the right person for the right service, and that will help you save money as well.
Absolutely. And I love my clients. I want to see them to succeed for sure. I'm just not the one that is certified for it. So definitely get the help that you need.
Yeah. And sometimes that just helps you organize your thoughts and everything else to really give helpful information to your legal team and really focus on who should be handling what task in the case. So the third one is one I think every family law professional is going to identify with, and that is asking the clients to please be honest.
Absolutely. I think it's crazy. We talk about this a lot here. Our own clients will lie to us. I don't know why. I've never understood it because we're here. I'm not judging any of my clients. We've all been there. We all have things in our lives we're not proud of or situations. And it would just help me so much more that our clients would tell us the truth at all times, even though it could be embarrassing or, just shameful. I'm here to help. I want to know every facet, and it will help us with the case, because the more we know, the better we can do your case. If we don't know something and then something comes up in, say, mediation or just in general talking to opposing counsel or something, we're uneducated on what you're talking about, then we feel dumb, number one, but also blindsided, because I have a rapport with my clients. So if I don't know something and then something comes up, I feel like, well, what else are they, hiding?
Yeah, you also can't protect them or give them the proper advice on how to handle this situation if you don't even know that it exists.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Honesty is the best policy. It's hard sometimes, but I'll be able to help you if you tell me.
And I think it's important for everybody to point out and to know that, yes, you have attorney-client privilege. If you tell the attorney something that's embarrassing or that you don't want to disclose, it is important. But you also have privilege with their team, which includes a paralegal. So if you are telling Cassie or another paralegal about these things that have occurred, then that is also protected by attorney-client privilege.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think one of the worst situations that you can put anybody in your legal team is for them to be either in a mediation, standing in court, and learning very important information for the first time. At that point, they are very ill prepared to help you with whatever the situation is.
Absolutely. It is. It's not a fun time.
And so your next tip is one that, oh my gosh, is such a problem that we see. And that is how to handle your social media accounts during a divorce.
So social media is a big thing these days. Obviously, we're all on some type of social media. Most of us are anyway. And I think that the best advice that I've always heard is text and communicate on social media as if a judge was reading it, right?
Yeah.
It just keeps it a lot cleaner if you just keep your personal business off socials, especially when you're going through a divorce or, like, again, any type of family law case. It can make your case a lot harder, because then we have, well, did you see what they posted? And did you see this? Did you see that? And it makes your case a little less strong, because you have the opposing party saying, well, she did this or he did this. And then we're like, why did you do that? Now, because they have proof, especially if there's any type of threatening or any type of, accusations that are not something that we want to go, in a case. So it can definitely make our lives harder and your case just less strong, for sure. So my advice is post nothing about the case. Just keep that part, but post about, all the good things going on in your life.
And also be careful about what you're posting and when. I have seen a lot of posts where people are maybe enjoying the single life on a Saturday night at 11 p.m. at a time when they're supposed to be at home with the minor child. And, they're just posting about their good time. And that doesn't mean that you aren't allowed to move forward and have a good time, but people don't really understand, like, these times and activities can also be matched up to where you're supposed to be, where the minor child is, where the other spouse is, where you're supposed to be, out with, your girlfriends or, on a work trip, and you have posted these, other pictures or timelines or things like that. So when you put it out there, it's out there.
Yeah, we just had a case not long ago where we had people saying, we don't have the money for this. And then you're posting, hey, I just bought a boat. Well, guess what? Something's not.
Yeah. Or I'm on this expensive vacation, and it's like,
Yeah. So nothing good happens on Facebook or any social media regarding your divorce. Nothing good comes of it.
Yeah, you post it, it is posted. It is posted
Absolutely.
To the public. It is posted forever. And something people also really don't understand is that when you do formal discovery, you could be asked to download your social media history, which is a function on all social media accounts. If you start to get into those settings, you will see that. So it doesn't go away. Like, even if it was from 2 years ago, that could, come out. So just in general, don't be putting your business out on social media, whether you're going through a divorce or not, frankly.
Absolutely.
Your last tip, which is also one, we're just we all like the same things, we're all passionate about the same things, is to take mediation seriously and to really understand what it is.
Yeah, I have a lot of people that will question the mediation part. Obviously, we know with amicable divorce it's required. It's such a great tool. A lot of people will say, wait a minute, mediation, that means that we're giving up something, or we're giving in, or we're not winning. Obviously, with any type of divorce or family law, it's not a win thing. No one's necessarily winning. It's just choosing the best process to get through this as unscathed as possible and as amicable and just live a good life after that, right? So mediation is such a great tool, and I have to explain to some clients about, hey, this is the whole process. This is going to get us where we need to go, and in such a nice as possible way. No one wants to, obviously we're not going to court in amicable divorce, but no one wants the extra added stress of court, the fees or anything like that. And mediation just helps us get everything together and settled. So it's such a great tool that, again, some clients question, but once they understand it, they get it.
Yeah, I've seen cases where people do end up in court and the judge is questioning how long was the mediation, how many sessions were there, because they really want to clear cases from their calendar, because the reality is they don't have the time that clients expect to really hear all the witnesses, look at all the documents. Some of those may not even be allowed in evidence, and people get really frustrated with the court system because they don't feel like they were heard, that the judge really had time, and that's true, which is why mediation is a great alternative, because you can really explain your position, you can really get creative with solutions in the way that a judge won't. And as a mediator myself, what I'm often surprised about is, so in Georgia, people are in separate rooms, which I know is not the case most other places. But I might start with one party and they give me an overview and they're like, the other side will never accept this. Like, we are not going to settle today. And I go do an opening, get the facts from the other case. And actually, they don't realize how close they are. They may actually have many things that they already agree upon. They just need to come together and have that conversation. So we encourage everybody to give mediation a shot.
Absolutely. And the crazy thing about that is, too, a lot of people will think, hey, I just want to get in front of a judge so they can hear my side, right? And that's just not the reality. Like you said, they don't have the time nor the want to constantly see, hey, give me every detail. But I think people struggle with that. But if they just hear what I'm saying, so mediation just takes that out of the equation altogether, which is nice and helps them to, solve as amicably as possible, and cheaper too.
I think people also don't understand the rules of evidence. And so if you're standing in court, you may want to, produce all of these things and have the judge hear all of this, but that might not be admissible evidence. It might be irrelevant, which is, the judge is really going to trim through things to try to get to the heart of the issue and also save time. So a lot of things are just excluded because the judge wants to hear some very strict set of facts and witnesses and keep it very focused so that they can move on and hear as many cases as possible. And I think people just really don't understand the reality of court, that there isn't a judge just sitting there just waiting for you to come in and take as much time as possible. That's just not the reality of things. So
yeah, it's not TV. It's not our TV programs that people watch and think, oh, that's how court goes. It is not that.
No, it is not that exciting either.
No.
But it is the most expensive way to resolve your case. So, Cassie, thank you so much for your great tips. I think it's really important to hear the paralegal perspective, because they are often the guide through your divorce process and can really help you. And your tips, are really great. And thank you for all that you do with Amicable Divorce Network.
Absolutely. Well, again, I was thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me. And let's get amicable. I'm all about it.
Let's do it. All right. So if you guys want to reach out to Cassie, you can find her in our membership directory under Georgia, and you will find her there. Or you can always reach out to us at info@amicableddivorcenetwork.com for a direct connection. Thanks again, Cassie.
Thank you.